Hello and welcome to BeamNG Drive. I'm davidinark and here we are on Spencer Johnson's Parkour 3. The first section here is all about food. Now, the thing about this video is that you are going to watch 2 hours of parkour action condensed into 12 minutes. So far we've gone through cheese, burger patties, and buns, and here we are working our way through the actual assembled burgers. This was certainly challenging. As a matter of fact, this map itself is insanely challenging. I'm going to say that this map is probably the map that you will hate to play, and yet you will absolutely love it. The attention to detail, the challenges are absolutely insane. As you see here, I did everything I could. I eventually made it through the hamburgers, and now we are at the hot dogs. I just went through the hot dog buns, and now you have to drive across the hot dogs themselves and get to the other platform. Now, the thing about this map is that essentially what Spencer lets you do is get to each of these gray platforms, and then you can set that as a new home spawn point to continue your quest. And as you can see, driving along the hot dogs, not an easy task. Now, I did briefly, you saw there, I briefly got the front end of my truck up onto the gray landing zone, but for me, I just didn't think that was going to cut it. So I decided to keep on going. Now, I will tell you at one point, I can't remember if it's on this particular section. I don't know. There is a section, though, where I ripped the front bumper off of the truck using the node grabber and then realized that that's actually against the rules. Fortunately, it didn't help me at all. And as you can see, I spent an insane amount of time on the hot dogs. I could not figure out how to keep my truck balanced on the hot dogs. In fact, there it was right there where I ripped off the front end. But like I said, it ultimately didn't help. And so it'll count as time, but I'm hoping it doesn't disqualify me just because it ended up not helping me whatsoever. But essentially, the gist behind the map is that you are expected to complete this using the default pickup truck and record the entire thing and then submit it to Spencer to get on the leaderboard. Now, we've passed the hot dogs, and now we are on toasted bread. So this is the top, what I would consider, well, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's top or bottom. What you are, oh my gosh, I'll be honest, I forgot how rough this actually was. So this toasted bread is actually divided kind of into 2 parts. The front part, it's a pretty straightforward shot. And then there's one piece of bread where I keep crashing, and it's just tilted just enough to where it's frankly very frustrating. Eventually, I just yeeted myself through it, I think is what I ended up doing. But as you can see here, we are now driving on assembled grilled cheese sandwiches. Yeah, that's right. Grilled cheese sandwiches. Hamburgers, hot dogs, grilled cheese. Now, we've gotten through the grilled cheese, and it's time to drive on the pizza. Let me tell you something. I have no idea what on earth is in Spencer Johnson's head, but it is amazing. As a matter of fact, right now we are driving through pasta tubes after the pizza, and we finally made it here. And then we come to the twisty pasta. There is no other way to describe this particular puzzle, if you will, other than I just want to say, if you are prone to rage quitting, this will probably set you over the edge. And I mean that literally and figuratively, because, oh my goodness, the first little bit, the first few twists of this particular puzzle are not bad at all. But this part right here, where you actually start the incline toward the next platform, that is a bear to figure out where to position your vehicle to get around in order to beat this. It was nuts. In fact, at some point in here, I just had to walk away. I took a little break, and I can't remember exactly when this is, but you'll know because my vehicle just kind of like sits there for a little bit, and I got so close right there, so close, and I couldn't do it. So, again, twisty pasta. As a matter of fact, one of the things that you will find throughout this map are places like this. This is where I took my break. I was like, you know what? I gotta walk away. But you will find multiple places where you've got to beat the puzzle or solve the puzzle by driving on and balancing your vehicle on different or just different stuff. It's so crazy. I really thought that going overhead might help, and I will tell you from my personal experience, doing this overhead worked better than any other solution I tried. I don't know why. There was something about this perspective that I seemed to be able to grasp where I was and what I was supposed to do. Unfortunately, I got very frustrated, and so as I've mentioned, this is going to raise up your penchant for rage quitting, and I essentially decided to just keep doing what I was doing and try my best to get around these different twisty pasta sections. And here, there we go. We just kind of yeeted it up. So now this next section this is actually the second part. That whole thing that we just did is the first part of the parkour. This is the tool section. We just went over some hammers. Now we have to drive over gears and figure out how to get around these gear puzzles. And again, pretty freaking frustrating. Just gonna throw that out there. But by the same token, there is something about these levels and this map that, as frustrating as it is, you still want to beat it. You want to figure out how to get your vehicle where it needs to be in order to solve the individual puzzles. That's one of the things that I love about the parkour maps that Spencer makes, because as much as you want to pull all of your hair out of your head, you still want to try to solve each section, beat each section. And when you do, the absolute exhilaration of finally beating a particular part is like nothing else. I mean, it really is. It's awesome. It's amazing. Getting there, however, will age you greatly. So here we are. I'm coming around this gear. And then it took me a minute to figure out what I was supposed to do here. And essentially, once you get past the gears, you have to try to fight your way through these. These gears are actually set up upright. They're vertical, and you are working your way through because, of course, it's not going to be a straightforward path. You have to figure out how to position your truck. And I would tell you, the front bumper on your truck will drive you mad. Here, we've got axes. Yeah, that's right. We're driving our truck on a path of axes, and then those axes give way to axes with fire axes. So I guess we have wood axes and what I'm assuming are fire axes. They look like fire axes to me. That's all I can say. Once again, very frustrating because getting your truck positioned on the handles in order to get from section to section. It's one of those things, you give it just enough gas to get to where you want to go, and suddenly you're falling off the map. Here, oh my, okay, so this is getting close to the last leg of this tool section of the map. Oh my gosh. And once again, I can't even tell you how long it took me in order to finally get up over this handle down the other side. And eventually what I ended up doing was driving up the handle. The problem is that when you get to the other side of the handle, there's another handle going down, and if you hit it just wrong, it bounces you one way or the other, and you end up falling to your death. However, if you manage to hit it just right, you can essentially yeet yourself, just pedal to the metal, gun the thing, and you will eventually make it across to the landing pad. And oh my gosh, man. Again, this entire video took me 2 hours, and I didn't even finish the whole map. I had to quit at the next section, which is candy, and I did a little bit of the candy section. We'll see that here, but oh my gosh. So how do you get this map? Well, you have to be a patron of Spencer's, and that is at patreon.com/Spencer Johnson. And once you become a patron there, then you have access to all of the cool maps that he is making. He may eventually release this to the public, but as far as I know right now, it is just for patrons. Got any questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. Special thanks to Hero of God, GamerGull, LosWilko, Connie C, and Zachary for supporting the channel on Patreon. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. I'm davidinark. We'll see you next time in BeamNG Drive. Have a great day.